looking at the components on the rubric and thinking about how you can word a variety of different questions from each of the components. That just kind of gets you out of that bogged down of just asking what is the main idea over and over and over again. Hey everyone, welcome for another episode in Adventures of Comprehension. So my name is Ciera Harris. I am the author behind Ciera Harris Teaching. We're going to be talking today all about using rubrics to teach reading comprehension. So we're going to talk about how that works, and I'm going to give you 5 different ways that you can use them in your classroom. Here we go. The first idea is basically like you would when you're starting any kind of like science unit or social studies unit, or sometimes you even do this with your writing units. But you start the unit or the week by introducing the rubric first. And so what that does is it allows you to go through each component on the rubric piece by piece and explain how all of the pieces are connected, how and why they are all important to each other, and how they all support the overall focus or skill or strategy of the week that you are working on. So another idea that you can use this for is teaching mini lessons. When you're thinking about teaching your mini lessons for any skill, reading comprehension skill, you could use your rubrics to identify what to teach in your mini lesson, right? So if you're going back to this making inference rubric, you've got 5 different mini lessons right here. You've got, I understand what an inference is, right? I'm not even asking students to make an inference. Do you just know what an inference is? Did I just make an inference? You can model making inferences and model not making inferences, and students can tell you yes or no, did you make an inference? I used my schema, so there's a whole mini lesson just based on using your schema to make inferences. I use text evidence, so again, a whole nother mini lesson just focusing on the text evidence part and how certain text evidence does support an inference you've made, and how another piece of text evidence does not. Because I can't tell you how many times the students will make a correct inference, but they can't find the right text evidence to support it. Drives me crazy. So having that piece and having that focused mini lesson is very helpful. I know when I'm making inferences when I read. What a fantastic mini lesson to actually work on that metacognitive skill of making inferences while I read and understanding and actually activating that thinking. And then I understand the importance of making inferences when reading. That's another amazing mini lesson to have. Why is this strategy, this skill so important? If I were to read this text, this passage, and I don't make any inferences, how does that impact my comprehension? Now let me try it again and let me make inferences and see the difference. All right, so idea number 3 is to use the rubric to identify where students are struggling with the skill. So you're able to now use this rubric to go, okay, I have this student A, who is struggling with making inferences. I know this because he or she gets all the inferential questions on the comprehension assessments incorrect all the time. So I'm going to sit down with them and I'm going to go through some making inference questions on a text that maybe, we've read together, it's fresh in their mind, and I'm going to watch their process and I'm going to see where in here is it going wrong. And then maybe I've got a few other students who I can do the same process for, and I'm able to make a small group. You can use these broken down skills to be able to make more focused small groups and to be able to identify specifically what students are struggling with when it comes to different reading skills and strategies. Hey everyone, so sorry to interrupt, but I want to make sure that you are loving the content coming from Ciera Harris Teaching on YouTube. So make sure if you are loving this to subscribe and also like and comment below. I would love to hear from you. So 2 other ways that you can use these rubrics in the classroom. One, and I love this one way is to create unique questions on assessments. Looking at the components on the rubric and thinking about how you can word a variety of different questions from each of the components. That just kind of gets you out of that bogged down of just asking what is the main idea over and over and over again. And then our last idea on ways to use the rubric is to allow students to reflect on their own learning. Being able to give that to them at the beginning of a unit, at the end of a unit, in the middle of a unit even. Being able to say, you know what, we've been working on main idea now for 5 days. We're going to work on it again next week, but I want to kind of see where you're at with all of this, and walk them through, read them each component, and kind of elaborate on what each component is, especially if you didn't do it at the beginning of the unit, making sure that they understand what each of these actually means, and then letting them say, you know, I'm a level 1, I'm a level 4, a level 3, etc., whatever that they feel like they are. And then you have that data, their actual confident levels, to know, okay, I'm going to pull all of my level 1s for this one component because this is a really important component out of the 5, and I'm really going to work on them next week. And reflection is such an important skill in academics and in life. And so the more you can incorporate it into your classroom, the more that the students are going to be held more accountable for their own learning. Creating your own rubrics. Like I said, tonight your freebie is I'm going to give you these to start with. You may not like how I broke mine down. You may want to use different verbiage. You may want to add pictures if you're more primary. You may want to use it for a different skill that I don't have included, etc. So how do you make your own? Honestly, friends, this is a simple table. I went into Microsoft Word. I added a table. I grayed the top right here just to give it a little pop. And then I made this section bigger, and that's it. I added the title to the top, the name, and I let them write out a sentence of what their thoughts and feelings were on the skill. That's completely optional. It would take you 3 minutes, 4 minutes to make a template like this to be able to create your own, right? Now, when it comes to actually breaking this part down, like we talked about at the beginning, there's not a step-by-step procedure, honestly. It's about looking at the prerequisites, looking at the grades, maybe getting out your standards from the grades below you, maybe 2 grades below, 2 grades above. Where do they need to be? Where should they have been? Where are they now? Looking at your standards, breaking everything down, looking at the strategies you teach. Just really break it down into minute sections. And then once you have them filled, before you hit save or hit print, think, could I break that one thing down even further? And see if you can get those broken down into even more. I would highly encourage you to keep it around 5. Maybe if you can come up with 6 or 7, pick your top 5 and focus on those. But I highly encourage you to make your own and get these going in your classroom. Hopefully some of the ideas I've given you will help kickstart that and let you see how meaningful these rubrics really are to use in your classroom. If you have any questions about how to use them, or if you have any ideas on how to use them, maybe you want to share an idea or two after you print these off and go try them in your classroom, you may think of some crazy awesome ideas, and I would love to hear. So make sure to shoot me an email or come back to this video and comment below and let me know. So what do you think? Do you see yourself using rubrics in your reading class to teach comprehension? Let me know in the comments below what your favorite thing about tonight's video was. I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to look for the link to the freebie. I'll be posting it below in the comments and in the video description in just a second. And I will see you all next week. Bye!